Welcome to the Cardinals Caravan Show on Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Holligus, your host. The Cardinals Caravan visit began with the bus arriving on the Missouri Southern State University campus, and the players were greeted by University President Dr. Dean Van Galen and his wife, Mary Van Galen. On the 2023 Cardinals Caravan were Lars Nootbaar, who played 108 games in 2022, starting 66 of them in right field. He tied for fourth on the Cardinals with 14 home runs and hit the longest home run by a Cardinals and the longest in Busch Stadium in 2022 with a 452-foot homer. Pitcher Zach Thompson, who entered the 2023 season rated as having the best curveball in the Cardinals organization. Gordon Graceffo was the 2022 Cardinals Minor League Pitcher of the Year. He finished his first full professional season with 139 strikeouts. Randy Flores, a Cardinals alum who appeared in 200 Cardinals games as a relief pitcher, including being part of the 2006 World Series championship team. And Cardinals alum Alan Bennis, who spent 6 years with the Cardinals and was Cardinals Rookie of the Year in 1996. The current and past Cardinals players made their way into Leggett and Platt to meet with members of the media, including Missouri Southern student interviewers.
Hello, I am Oscar Campa. I am a student at Missouri Southern, and I'm speaking to Randy Flores, who is Director of Scouting. How are you today?
Good, Oscar. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about scouting and what you do specifically with the Cardinals?
Yeah, so primarily for most of the year, my responsibility is running and operating our amateur draft. And so that basically encompasses going from Puerto Rico to every state that has talent that we might evaluate to be eligible for the draft. Additionally, I oversee the pro scouting department, whose job is to evaluate every player in the world, basically, who has a professional background. And so when you combine that, it's a year-round job trying to find talent for the next Cardinals.
And so when you're looking at some of these players, what stands out to you? What are some of the qualities that these players might need for them to catch your eye?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it really depends. There's a certain threshold of ability you have to have. You have to be able to be strong. You have to be able to hit the ball hard. You have to be able to throw hard. But then that reaches kind of a critical mass, and all the people we're looking at have that. And so I think your question is, well, what stands out? And that's the hard part about scouting, is because it's very, very difficult to predict the future. But we are looking for people who are athletic. We're looking for people who have aptitude. We're looking, candidly, for people who love the game. And when you nail it and you get that right, it really is a fun feeling.
I noticed that you played at USC and you were kind of an ambidextrous player. Is that some of the qualities that you look for in players, or?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's a rarity to be ambidextrous. I'm not truly ambidextrous. I don't throw right-handed and left-handed, but I write and eat right-handed. I throw left-handed. I'm just an odd duck a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think whenever you do find kind of an outlier in athleticism or an outlier in coordination, that does stand out and could be a tiebreaker.
And what are some of the main differences from college ball to the major league ball?
Oh my goodness. Look, you could argue that it's night and day because it just gets harder and harder and harder. I'll never forget my first day in the minor leagues. I was at the lowest level of the Yankees minor league organization. We had 30 people on our team, and they were going to cut some of us because you could only take 25. But there were 7 other teams on the fields out there in spring training, and I just realized how many people are playing this professional game just for the Yankees. Then you add that there's 29 other teams. So it's just incredibly competitive, it's incredibly difficult, and those who make it, like the players that are joining us who either have on this caravan or will make it soon, it's a testament to their work ethic and dedication to get this far.
I noticed that you were bouncing around from teams when you were playing. What stood out to the St. Louis Cardinals for you, and what made it your home for you?
Yeah, the St. Louis Cardinals gave me my first opportunity when I became a minor league free agent. And what that means is, you know, when you're drafted, you're beholden to the rules of baseball, which is until you have 6 years of baseball, you are inclined to stay with the organization that has you. So the Cardinals were the first team that gave me a chance as a free agent. And I was lucky enough to be with them in the minor leagues in Memphis in 2004. And one thing that they've done then that they continue to do now is that they reward performance. And I performed and got a chance with St. Louis and made a dream come true.
And I noticed that in 2006 you won the World Series. How do you plan on bringing that same winning culture to the Cardinals right now?
Man, if I had it and it was in an answer I could give you right now, I'd give it to everyone already. But truly, I think the tradition of this organization is something that we all strive for. Our World Championship in 2006 reminds us of the championships and greats of earlier. And our hope is that the championships recently and the playoff caliber teams is something our future players strive to be as well.
And how do you think being a player in the MLB has affected you scouting? Do you think that has great advantages or what?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's two ways. Specifically in my role as a front office executive, being a former player provides empathy for what they're going through. You realize how hard the game is. The game is incredibly, incredibly difficult. And sometimes it's hard the further you get removed from the playing field to remember that those players that are struggling or aren't performing to their capabilities, that they're human beings also. They're not robots. There's ups and downs in career, family, life, personal stuff. And so knowing that, I think arms me well to remember how hard the game is and to have empathy when players are going through struggles.
I think that is all I have. Thank you for your time.
Outstanding. Thanks for having me.
Nice having you.
All right.
So where did it all begin?
So born in Cranford, New Jersey. Started playing baseball at 6 years old. My dad kind of got me into it and then took off from there.
Mm-hmm. So tell me a little about Villanova. What during the recruiting process kind of swayed you over there?
So Villanova was actually the only scholarship offer I got during the recruiting process, and then once I took a visit there, just kind of fell in love with the culture there and just kind of had the campus and the coaching staff, and I'm glad it all worked out.
Mm-hmm. So that year, the year before that, they won a championship. What was kind of like the campus like? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was really excited from that, and then the Eagles also won a Super Bowl that year, so that was also crazy. But they were all looking forward to the next season, and we were fortunate enough to have some pretty good teams.
Mm-hmm. So they call you the flamethrower. Some of the people back at home. How does that make you feel on the mound?
Definitely a little confidence booster. Haven't always done that hard, just kind of matured into it. But I mean, it's a nice compliment to have.
Mm-hmm. So on the radar, couple spring training, hit 98, 99, couple hundreds. You consistently hitting 100 this year?
We'll see. Hopefully the off-season training program will help out with that. But trying to throw strikes, trying to stay around the zone, attack hitters. But whatever happens, happens.
And what does the training look like to throw triple digits?
It's a lot of weight training, a lot of moving heavy weight fast, a lot of sprint work, agility work, just kind of getting more athletic, just kind of covering all the bases.
So I see you won a St. Louis Cardinals minor league pitcher of the year. How does that make you feel on the mound?
It's good. I mean, it's good to have like all my hard work validated and stuff like that. I mean, I couldn't have done it without the staff there with the Cardinals in Springfield, my teammates behind me. But I mean, it was good. It was nice to have a good year, have a little success, just have it build on it for this year.
So what are your goals this year, moving up in the league?
I would love to start with the big league team, but out of spring training. But wherever the Cardinals want to place me to start the year, it's fine with me. I'm just going to go there, do my thing, and hopefully I'll make it to the big leagues at some point this year.
Yes, sir. And what are your goals for the organization?
I mean, obviously you want to win the World Series. I mean, that's every year the Cardinals go out and their focus is the playoffs. That's when their season starts, and then the end goal is World Series.
And so in a funny interview, I think it was on like a YouTube podcast, you said you had an interesting pregame breakfast and lunch. What does that look like?
So during the season in Springfield, there's one IC Bowl place that I'd always go to for my pregame meal because it wasn't not too heavy, kind of healthy. It was good, like middle ground. It tasted good, and ended up pitching well after eating it. So why not keep going there? Right?
All right, and that's all the questions I got. My name is Dimitri Lloyd. I'm with MSSU. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm Haley Smith. I'm a student here at Missouri State Southern University. And today, here in Joplin, we have Alan Venice, former Cardinals player. Alan, how was the trip down here?
It's been fine so far. We all get to ride in a nice bus and get to kind of know each other a little bit better and had some nice visits yesterday, so everything's going well.
Okay, so obviously I heard you have a history of baseball, but what inspired you to play baseball?
Well, we grew up in a family where that's what we did. We went out and played whatever sport was in season. We played soccer and football and baseball, basketball. All the kids did, and we just my parents were really good at getting us to all the practices and games, and we all enjoyed it and just kept going with it.
All right. So did you have a before game routine, or did you have any suspicions or a lucky item you would have before every game?
I didn't have a specific lucky item, but I did have somewhat of a routine that I kind of would follow. And for instance, as a starting pitcher, one of the things I remember doing quite a bit was thinking about if I had a really good start, the next time out, I would think back to what meals I ate, when I ate them, that sort of thing, and I try and replicate that to see if it, actually helped or didn't help. And then, I might ride that a few starts, and then I might not have as good a start, and so I just kind of start over. So nothing specific, but we all are superstitious to an extent, and kind of try and follow the same routine if things are going well.
All right. During the games, what was your go-to pitch that you would pitch every game that no hitter could hit?
Well, I didn't have one that they could never hit, but I had both my fastball and slider were my two primary pitches that were my go-to pitches. And, they didn't always work, but they worked the majority of the time.
Okay, out of all the games you played as a Cardinal, which one was the most memorable?
The most memorable, I guess, would be we were in San Diego. It was a year that my brother and I were both on the same team, and he started the game and threw the first 6 innings, and then I came in out of the bullpen to relieve him, and took the ball out of his hand and then took over from there. That was a special thing that doesn't happen very often in baseball.
With that being said, you played with your brother. What was it like playing with your older brother?
It was great. It was something that just kind of happened, and we. I was drafted by the Cardinals and came through the system, and we signed him as a free agent, and we pitched together for parts of 3 or 4 seasons, and it's hard to describe. I mean, it's just one of those things that it was so unimaginable that it would happen, and then when it did, it just was a great experience for both of us that we'll always cherish.
All right, and my last question is, why did you want to continue your baseball journey with the St. Louis Cardinals?
Well, the St. Louis Cardinals is a special organization, much different from all the other organizations, and it's really more of a family-type environment, and that comes from the ownership, the front office, the way they treat players, the way they take care of players. Is special. It also comes from a desired goal within the organization to compete every year, and that's something that's different than most other organizations out there.
Well, thank you for coming today. I'm Haley Smith, and thank you for watching.
When we come back, we talk one-on-one with pitcher Zach Thompson and the fan favorite Lars Nootbaar. But first, as we go to break, the hundreds of fans in Young Gymnasium were treated to a highlight reel. Let's take a look.
I'm Molly Hoover. Today I'm here with Zach Thompson. He made his big league debut with the St. Louis Cardinals as a pitcher in 2022. Zach, it's so nice to have you here in Joplin. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
It's neat to come to Joplin for the first time.
We're glad you're here. So Zach, tell me, what was your favorite part about last season, making your debut with the Cardinals?
That's a tough one. There were a lot of good moments. It obviously started with my debuting at Wrigley, which was, growing up as a Cubs fan, Wrigley was, where I watched all my games every night on TV. So that was really cool, debuting against that team. And then, to do it with a team with so much history. The Cardinals are one of the best organizations in baseball, and of all seasons, we've got Albert Pujols, we've got Yachty and Waino breaking records. Being around those guys every day was something special, and then you got Goldie and Nato in an MVP race. So ended up, the playoffs didn't end the way we wanted, but to achieve all those things in my first season, be around all those guys was so much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like such a good season for you. So you said you were a Cubs fan growing up. How does your family feel about you being with the Cardinals?
Everybody loves it. Things obviously changed in June of 2019. But, it was easy for me growing up in Indiana. They were the hometown team, and with WGN they were on every night, and the Cardinals weren't. So I think that kind of shaped my fandom as a child.
So you mentioned Waino, Yachty, and Pujols. What was it like working with them last season?
It's unbelievable. You're around the masters of the game. Albert's one of 4 guys to ever hit 700 homers. Yachty and Waino did something that's never been done before. Just getting to pick those guys' brains, getting to just see how they work, how they go about their business. Albert was the first guy to the field every day, and that really has an impact on younger guys.
Love that guy. So I did see that you got a start last year. Do you prefer starting or relieving?
I just take the ball whenever they call my name. Traditionally, I've always been a starter, and then you get called up and they tell you they need you in the bullpen, so that's what you do, and I love it. I feel like I've found a home there. I'm definitely open to still starting, to still relieving. I'm just a pitcher at the end of the day.
Awesome. So I noticed that you did get drafted in 2016 by Tampa Bay, but you opted to play at Kentucky, and then you got drafted in the first round in 2019 by the Cardinals. So what advice would you have for college baseball players who are looking to play affiliated ball one day?
Just trust your process. Everybody's different. Everybody hits their peak at different times. Guys mature at different times. Coming out of high school, personally, I wanted to sign, and it didn't work out. And I went to school and learned that school was the right route for me. I got a really good head start on my degree. I got to play in the SEC, which selfishly I think is the best league in baseball. Getting to be around those players, those coaches, around those systems, school-wise, and I think it's just huge for guys to develop, take those 3 years.
So do you have a moment from last season that you'll cherish forever?
A lot of them. Obviously the debuts up there, being in LA in the bullpen, watching Albert hit 699 and 700, watching Albert, Yachty, and Waino come off together after their last start, going to the playoffs. It gives me chills just thinking about it. There were so many cool moments. It was an awesome season.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about the fan base at Busch Stadium and the atmosphere compared to other places, like when you were on the road and traveled?
Yeah, it's funny. So coming up in the Cardinals organization, they always tell you, Cardinals fans are the best fans in baseball. And I think as a minor leaguer, you just kind of think, okay, every team tells you that. And then, the first time playing at Busch Stadium, it's a lot. You walk in and you just see there's red everywhere, and everybody knows who you are. Everybody is rooting for you. They're not fair weather fans. And then you go to some of these other parks, and you might see a few thousand people there, and they're just kind of there just to see a game. And Cardinals fans are really passionate, and they truly are the best fans in baseball.
All right, Zach. Well, we appreciate having you here in Joplin. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Go Cards.
Go Cards.
I'm Lisa Oligas here at the Cardinals Caravan with Lars Nootbaar. Thank you for being here. You're such a star of the Cardinals. We welcome you to Joplin. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having us.
So you have had 2 seasons with the Cardinals. You're a rising star. You know, I was at a game August 2nd last year, and I was there. You couldn't help but being part of the crowd that yelled, "Newt!" What is it like to hear the crowd saying your name?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, anytime I step to the plate and, you know, they're screaming my name like that, it gives me energy, you know, makes me excited. So super thankful for the fans and the environment there at Busch Stadium. I definitely don't take it for granted. It's awesome.
So you've been there 2 seasons. Is there any one certain player that has helped you in your training?
Yeah, I would say Nolan Arenado. I think he's been a big influence on me. We met last year, 2021, and he's kind of taken me under his wing. You know, I've kind of watched him train, you know, he's kind of helped me, you know, go about hitting and different things like that. And so being able to have a role model like that on the team, it's a pretty big advantage for me, I'd say.
So I've watched you play, and it's amazing. You often rob people of home runs. What do you do in training to leap that high?
Yeah, you know, I just try to, that's a lot of off-season stuff, you know, making sure I'm staying athletic, you know, lifting weights, doing lower body, different stuff like that. But also just kind of playing the game like I did in Little League, you know, trying to play as hard as I can, trying to make as many plays as I can for the team, help the guys win. If that's me leaping over the fence or doing something like that, you know, that's what I'll do.
You hit some homers. You also hit a lot of RBIs. For young players out there, what advice do you give them when you're up on the plate and there's that pressure to hit, to bring somebody home?
Yeah, you know, I would just say, you know, make sure you're selective. You know, get a good pitch that you can hit. Just don't go up there trying to swing at anything. You know, make sure that you go up there with a plan. You find something that you like and swing. You know, the game gets difficult the higher level you go, but, you know, it stays the same too. You know, just make sure you're having fun, get a good pitch to hit, and take a good swing at it.
So are you nervous when you're up there? What advice would you give to players in general, you know, for their passion of baseball?
Yeah, you know, I think just embrace the moment. Obviously, you know, when you're playing at Busch Stadium, there's a lot of fans there, but just like when I was in Little League, you know, I'd feel the same way. You know, my parents and friends are in the stands too. It's the same pressure, you know. You just got to kind of embrace that moment and understand that, you know, you've worked hard and you've practiced hard and, you know, you're playing baseball. You know, it's supposed to be fun. So you want to embrace those kind of moments and make them fun and kind of lighthearted and you know, like I said, just enjoy it. There's going to be some nerves and stuff like that, but that's natural. I think as long as you have fun, you'll do all right.
You've played with some really greats, you know, Waino, Yachty, and then you're part of a 17-game winning streak. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I've been very, very fortunate early in my career to be able to play like, you know, like you said, with Yachty, Waino, Albert, Nolan, Goldie, last year, Lester. You know, I've just been very, very fortunate to play with, you know, legends in the game. And so trying to take bits and pieces from them, but also enjoy the moments that I have with those guys. You know, they're kind of like my role models growing up, and now I get to play with them. It's pretty cool.
Well, so who are those role models? I was growing up, Ozzie Smith was my Golden Glove champ. Loved Ozzie. He was kind of a great personality. Who did you look up to as a kid?
You know what? It's funny. I actually, you know, me and my buddies, we'd play wiffle ball, and we'd always do like the Albert Pujols stance. And so being able to play with him last year was pretty incredible. You know, he was such a good, and he still is such a good man, but such a good teammate. You know, role model, Christian, father, husband, everything like that. And so Albert, for me, it was kind of that guy, and to be able to play with him, not on a video game in real life, is pretty cool.
So you are one of those players who often grabs the mic and does interviews with your teammates. What do you think is the best question to ask? What would you want to ask?
Yeah, I would just, you know, it's got to be a spur of the moment type of thing. You know, it's got to come off the cuff. You don't really know exactly what you're going to say. You get, you know how it is. You know, you kind of bounce off some ideas, see what their personality's like, their energy. But no, yeah, I kind of try to keep it loose in the clubhouse with the guys, you know, and I think they enjoy it a little bit.
Okay, lastly, there's talk everywhere about a Newt bar, a candy bar, named after you. It makes sense. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Where are we at on that? Do you have a contract yet?
Yeah, no, we've had some offers. We fielded some offers, but no, nothing official yet. I think, you know, we're still in the process. I've said it before. I need some taste testers, so anybody willing to taste the Newt bar, you know, we got to make sure the people like it. So nothing official yet, but we're working on something.
Favorite ingredients, if your name's going to be on it?
Yeah, I know. I think we got to keep it somewhat healthy, unfortunately. Maybe we'll do an unhealthy, healthy version. So maybe a little dark chocolate and maybe some milk chocolate on the other one. So, yeah, I'm excited for it, though, for sure.
Very excited. Well, we're so glad to have you. Thank you for joining us, and we're welcoming Lars Nootbaar to MSSU. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Hundreds of fans from the four-state region flooded Young Gymnasium for this big event. They posed for photos with Fred Bird, who made a big appearance, and got balls, bats, posters, and more signed by the players for treasured autographs. They also took part in a question and answer session with the players, and one youngster was singled out for a fantastic ask to scout Randy Flores.
I wanted to ask what you saw in the 2020 draft of Jordan Walker, Tink Hintz, and Mason Wynn, I think.
Let's give that question a round of applause. That's.
Here's what some had to say about the big event.
I'm a baseball super fan, I guess. I love baseball. I play it. I know every Cardinal player basically, and I know a lot about the minor league system because I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I go to a lot of their baseball games. And when I was 9, I started watching baseball because of my dad, and it just introduced me to the game, and now it's my favorite thing in this world.
So, what did you have signed, and how important was this for you today? Tell me about it.
I was really excited, and it's really important.
It's really important?
Yeah.
So where are you going to hang this?
In my room.
Yeah? So how long have you been a Cardinal fan?
A baby.
Since you were a baby? That's awesome. So what do you think of these players and what you heard them talk about today?
I think they are really cool.
Oh, this is really cool. We just moved back to Missouri from Florida, and so it was cool to, this is one of the things that makes us really excited about living in Missouri again, is being able to see the Cardinals. We're not real baseball fans, we're St. Louis Cardinal fans. That's all we watch. We love the Cardinals. Funny thing is, we have 4 daughters. Our last name's Bull, but we ended up with 4 daughters, and they all love the Cardinals. It's something that we do together as a family.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being here. What do you think about the Cardinals Caravan, them coming to town rather than making everybody go to St. Louis?
Oh, this is great to have them here in Joplin. To come here to see us, to take the time to come down here and spend time with us is really something special.
And what excites you about the St. Louis Cardinals?
Just everything, the players, their front office, everything they do, everything they draft. Whatever they do, I'm happy for it.
It's fun, and it's a great way for the kids to start to feel a little connected to the Cardinals, and I think that's just a great all-American pastime that we all want to share with our families.
How long have you been a Cardinal fan?
Oh my gosh. I grew up in Arkansas, but I've always been a Cardinal fan.
This is an awesome event. I love that we were able to come out here and just hang out and meet Cardinals players. It's pretty awesome.
Born a Cardinal fan. And what's this baby's name?
Cooper.
He's 3 weeks old too, so.
3 weeks old?
Yes.
Born a Cardinal fan?
Yes, very much so. Very much born a Cardinal fan, yes.
That wraps up this special edition of Newsmakers on the Cardinals Caravan. See you at the ballpark.